is our rear differential change, fluid change on a 2010 all-wheel drive Highlander. And these are the items you need. A few quarts of 75 W90 synthetic with, my car needs the limited slip additives, a wire brush, a 10 millimeter Allen wrench, 2 seals here for the fill and drain, and a oil spout that can fit into the spout. This one does at Walmart. Cost me a couple bucks. A catch pan to capture all the fluid, make sure it's wide so it can spill into it easily. And then last but not least, little treats so you can celebrate your achievement afterwards. Okay, so I'm now underneath the car looking at the rear differential. You can see the drain plug. I've loosened it. It's right here. And then the fill plug is just above it, which I've already removed. And it is just above it. Right. It's right there. And pretty easy to remove. Just use that 10 millimeter Allen wrench and then open it up and make sure you don't confuse the fill with the drain. They're both interchangeable. One has a magnet on the end, and I'll show you that right now. So I've loosened it already and drained the fluid, and it comes out pretty easy. As you can tell, this is the drain plug because of the magnet on the end. So you make sure you put the gasket back on. Make sure the old gasket is removed, which I've already done. And then it's pretty easy to go back on. Tighten it up to the torque specifications to seat the seal to the differential. I put the Allen wrench on. It's now just a matter of tightening it up. It seats pretty nicely. Always remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Okay. So it's seated pretty nicely. As you can see, on the top where the fill is, this gasket still remains, so you just kind of pop that one off, which I just did. And now just to make sure that it seats with the new gasket after you fill it. So I've now connected the differential fluid with the fill spout, and make sure you turn it on. One thing I have done with this is this flows very slowly, so what I've done is actually kept it inside in a warm area, warmer than the house, just to keep it warm so that it flows quickly and you can get the job done a little faster. Just one little tidbit. Okay, so you get your fill tubing. Stop. Rolling. Okay, so you just get your tubing into the fill hole. And it fits perfectly. And then you just squeeze to fill it up. And you fill it up until it starts to come out of the fill hole here. And once you've filled it up, then that should be Just keep your drain pan underneath just in case you make mistakes and your wife won't scream at you.
Oh.
Yawn?
Mm-hmm.
Yawn?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, so once you see this, then you know you're full of differential fluid, and you see some of it starting to drain back, which is fine. You want to capture it and not spill out your good fluid. So once you've sufficiently drained out some so it's not overflowing, you go to the next step. Okay, so this is the fill plug. Has the new gasket on. It's nice and clean, and now we'll put it on. Okay, so you have your new gasket on. You can see it spilling out a little bit, which is fine, and then you just not drop it into the pan. Pause. I gotta go.
Okay.
So if you have dropped it in the pan, this little device, which Santa brought me, has a little magnet on the end and finds it very simply. You just kind of scoop it around in the goop. And it should find it pretty easily. Okay, stop. Okay, forget it, stop. And then you find your piece you lost very quickly. Stop it.
One.
Okay, so now that you've retrieved it and gotten it all goop free, you put it back on and slowly hand tighten it with your new gasket on. Okay, so you put your 10mm Allen wrench back on. And this one's kind of tricky to get on. Not easy, and you just tighten it to the torque specifications.
Go.
Okay, so now that you've finished it, you can just go ahead and clean up and just wipe off the excess differential fluid that may have spilled, may and will spill, so that it doesn't drip and then you think you did something wrong, but you haven't. And now that that's all clean, you're good to go. So it looks like I only needed 1 quart, but I needed the 2 because I couldn't get in good position to be able to push all the fluid out of the container. So you can use the excess to do the transfer case. Alright, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.